Hello, and thank you for joining us. This is your preview, your undisputed preview of all the bets you need to be looking at in the Arsenal versus Liverpool match. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by neither of the men on your screen currently, but it is our very own Gio Mackie. Good evening, Gio. Thanks for joining us. Looking forward to this one on Monday.
Yeah, definitely. Really looking forward to it.
Well, I just briefly had the odds up on the screen. As an overview, Gio, just to start with Arsenal, the home side, your view on their season so far and your expectations for them going forward. I know you mentioned them a lot in the anti-post hangout.
Yeah, obviously I've seen them against West Ham on the opening day. They weren't quite there. I thought we did really well against them. There's a lot of people saying Arsenal did poor. I thought that took a lot of credit away from West Ham. You obviously would have watched the game last week. I only saw a lot of snippets of it. I thought it sounded like they were quite lucky, were they, Sam?
You know what? It's so early in the season, it's really hard to yardstick. I felt Arsenal at times looked their best, and other times they looked really ropey. And I mean, the goal Joel Ward scored, you don't really think a right back, centre back defender is going to be able to pop up and have a shot on the edge of the area, a real daisy cutter that can float across the goal and beat Petr Cech. You think the defending should be better there. And we'll come on to that when we talk about the stats and a couple of the bets that we've got suggested tonight, because I certainly don't think Arsenal's defence is going to be up to top notch till later on in the season. It's taken them a bit of time to get adjusted. You know, Czechs, look, people said he threw in some howlers against West Ham. Whatever's happened against them has happened now. They're going to bed in, and I'm really confident. I think Arsenal will grow stronger as the season goes on. What's your view on that?
Yeah, definitely. I still think they've got a good chance for the title. I think right now, for me, the second favourites by Man City, going by the first two games. I think he's just probably lacking confidence. He's not been played last season. He needs to get a bit of a run in the team going, a bit of confidence, get to know his new back forward. I think he'll be fine.
He's not got the same defence in front of me he had at Chelsea either. Let's add that. You know, he had defenders at their peak. He's got an average defence. For I'm not saying Arsenal are a bad back four, but I do think it chops and changes from time to time. They did a lot of things well against Palace, and I have no doubt they're going to be a top four side this season. Where they finish, it's up for dispute. If you want to catch more of Gio and me and a few others talking about the season's opportunities for Arsenal, just click down on our different videos and you can have a look at the anti-post video we did a few weeks ago. Still pretty relevant given we're only a couple of weeks in. And that Arsenal still haven't signed any players since then, which is a little bit weird. Liverpool, Gio, Monday night against Bournemouth. What do we think?
They're a bit lucky, but again, I think they're going through a lot of changes. Like we spoke last week, and I'll say it again. I think Liverpool, I think Brendan Rodgers is going for a more hard grafting, hard working, and sacrificing a little bit of flair players for them. And I think it's going to work out in the long run, actually. I think they'll be a lot closer to the top four than they were last season.
He would have had some of all the managers that are under scrutiny. For me, Brendan Rodgers has one of the toughest jobs in football. Not only that, he has to get a fast start this season. He'd go to Stoke and get a result. You know, Bournemouth at home on paper looks easy, but at the start of the season, and you didn't know how they were going to play. And you know, in time, if Bournemouth start picking up some points, that will look like a good result. And yeah, at the moment we can criticise the football being played and say it's a bit boring and a bit dire. But he's 2 from 2, unlike Arsenal. You know, this is where it comes into it. So effective football, and I can certainly see them being a match for Arsenal. We've got the two men on the screen there. Cazorla had a fantastic game against Crystal Palace. I think he's very underrated. Is not the right word, because I think he does pop up as man of the match like he did last week from time to time. I think his role at Arsenal is underthought. And he's going to be key, isn't he, in the tempo of their play and just making sure that Arsenal keep a hold of Liverpool, especially if they're looking to counter-attack.
Yeah, I think Cazorla is probably one of the best technical players I've seen in the Premier League. He's just fantastic with the ball. He's world class when he's got the ball at his feet. Liverpool. See, I think Liverpool's going to get something from this game. People talk about Rodgers, like you said. He was under the microscope, saying, well, look at his first 7 away games, really tough. Well, he's got 3 out of 3 so far. You have to flip it around. Once he's gone through the 7 away games, he's already played the top teams away from home. He's got another 12 away games, and he's already played the top ones. He's got to play the top teams at Anfield in the second half of the season. If he can get through this first bit of the season and get some points on the board and be in a respectable position, Liverpool will be sitting in a very nice position going into the Christmas period.
No, that's a very fair comment. I suppose we've looked at what the two teams have got. I've got Coutinho on the screen, and there'll be a little bit more chat about that fella a little bit later on. We'll take a little whack at the stats then, Gio, and I'm not sure there's going to be too many that will surprise you on this screen. Other than the fact that apparently Martin Skrtel was one of the most potent goal scorers within the fixture, which did surprise me a little bit. Plenty of goals in it. Giroud there, 2 in the last 2 against Liverpool. Obviously scored against Palace. He's not everyone's cup of tea as a neutral, or as Arsenal fans will tell you. Should he be leading that line for Arsenal?
No, I don't think, if he wouldn't win the title, I don't think he's good enough. But he's certainly good enough for being in the squad, or at least being on the bench. But he's almost like a guaranteed starter, isn't he? You know, Werner played Walcott in the Community Shield, and you thought, well, maybe this is what he's going to do. And then when the league came around, you took him out and put Giroud back in. You thought, well, you know, Walcott had a...
I think he gives them, especially when they were away from home and against a team like West Ham, it's a bit more battle-hardened. I think Giroud's the pick because he can play as a different type of striker. Walcott, you're not really able to go long or get crosses into the box towards his head, whereas Giroud can do that. For his goal against Palace, he used physical strength and technique. I don't think Walcott can do that.
Well, it's open for debate. I like Walcott as a player a lot, but Giroud's type of player for me, I think he goes a couple of games without scoring. You're thinking he's going to get dropped if he doesn't provide in the next game, and then he pops up with a goal or two and secures his position for the next couple of games. But Wenger obviously trusts him. You'll find that Wenger can be quite loyal to a lot of his players, and Giroud's one of them.
Do you think Skrtel scoring against Arsenal highlights a problem they've had in their back four over the last few years, which is defending from set plays and corners? Because he's not going to be wandering up the pitch for fun, you know. And I noticed this, Arsenal do tend to concede a few goals from corners.
Yeah, well, conceded a set piece against West Ham as well. A free kick and Czech flinging out his goal for no reason. But the Skrtel one, I think that's, I don't know if you can say that, you know, 3-3, impressive for a centre back, but we'll come on to the bets later on. But it's certainly for the neutral to pick out. But Liverpool they've got a big team now, don't they? They're a lot more physical than they were a couple of years ago. Arsenal, it could be a weak spot, so we'll wait and see on Monday night.
No. Just one player to touch on quickly that was linked with Arsenal in the close season. He went to Liverpool. James Milner. Do you think he's the sort of player Liverpool have lacked and that Arsenal probably are still lacking?
I don't know if he would suit Arsenal. I think Arsenal's more pretty football, but I think he's perfect for Liverpool for this year. I think he's what they need, as long as he doesn't try free kicks like he did against Bournemouth. Yes.
I think if you haven't seen it, you only need to Google James Milner free kick, and yeah, it was pretty funny. I won't lie. I think a few of us in the office were having a definite chuckle about that. Something that isn't funny is our tipping record at the moment. We're doing all right. The last Liverpool game we featured, we got 3 out of 3 in the Bournemouth game. So we could still potentially get that on these bets that we're putting up. So just to remind you, there weren't actually any blogs at the time of doing this video, so we let me have a bet, which is always dangerous, and I'll come on to mine in a moment. But the OLBG members are overwhelmingly voting for an Arsenal win at present. Gio, were you surprised by that, or do you think at the odds of around 3 to 4, they're a good bet?
I think it's fair, and I can understand. Liverpool only got 1 point away to the top 4 last season. So you look at last season's record, and you can see why the LBG members are going for Arsenal. I'm a bit more sceptical. I expect more from Liverpool this season.
Okay, and that probably explains why you've gone with 64. It's just fallen off the screen, but I think it was a bet 365. Liverpool to win either half. Now, Liverpool to win either half. Explain yourself, Gio.
Well, I think they've shown in the last 2 games that the first game they showed that they can keep it tight, but they can also create something from nothing with Coutinho. He's got the ability to do that. And then in the second game against Bournemouth, they showed that they can play team football. And yes, the goal was offside, but later on in the game, Benteke hit the bar as well. And while Bournemouth squandered chances, Liverpool did too. People are it's almost like the way people spoke. It's almost like Bournemouth were robbed. That wasn't the case. It was a very even game, and I just think that price of 64 is quite big because you get a double chance, really, don't you? At half time, your bet's not won. It resets at half time, or you could win it by half time. That's what I like about it. Even if they're 3-0 down at half time, all it takes is a 1-0 in the second half. But I expect someone from Liverpool on Monday night.
Okay, well that leads me on to my bet, which is I went for Felipe Coutinho to score at any time. I thought 4-1 was a big price for a man that could come up and conjure what he did against Stoke. I think Liverpool should be building their team around him. I'll be honest, I think he's a real talent, and he won't be going anywhere the next couple of years. He's not going to end up even if he does become a top player in the Premier League, he won't go to a rival in this country, and he's not going to get into a Madrid or a Barcelona yet. There's a few players ahead of him. Your view on Coutinho, how would you have him playing? Would you have him behind the striker? Would you give him a free roll, putting on the outside, cutting in? What would you do with him if he was your player?
Just a free roll. I would try and build a team of 10 men, not include him, and then just let him do what he wants. Like players like that, you cannot restrict. I think that was maybe a problem with City last season. They had Silva out on the wing, and really restricted them. This season, they put shackles off him in the first 2 games. He's been back to his wizardry self, if you like, because Sterling's out there. And I think that's what you need to do with Coutinho. As soon as you start giving him a defensive role to do, as well as attacking one, I think you lose that aspect of his game. He becomes too far behind the game of play when you're counter-attacking and stuff. You need him to be in the mix of it all. And I think he's going to link up really well with Benteke. There was a couple of times on Monday the ball went long, Benteke headed it down to Coutinho, and that's something I'm really looking forward to over this season.
Yeah, and so am I when I'm on at 4-1. That was with Bet 365 as well. We should stay. Joe, I want to thank you. Guys, don't forget, we love your comments, we love your feedback. Joe isn't right every week. The OLBG members aren't right every week. But we want to hear from you. Add your comments to the videos and tell us what you think will happen in this game, obviously before it starts. And you can always do it afterwards if you're watching this back retrospectively and tell us what you thought. Did Coutinho disappoint you? Do we think that Arsenal are the real deal for the title? Simple yes or no. Let me know. I don't care if you support Arsenal or not. We'd love to hear from you. Gio, thank you for your time today.
Yeah, one more thing. You know how I like my referee stats?
Oh, yeah, a Gio referee stats special. We must let him have his minute on referees.
Arsenal have only won 2 from their last 11 games with Michael Oliver in charge. So there you go.
Gio is convinced that Michael Oliver has got a shirt on of every other team apart from Arsenal. We shall see. Gio, thank you for your time tonight. And yeah, guys, like I say, subscribe to the videos. We're keeping these previews going throughout the season. You can have a look back at what you've done and subscribe and you'll get all the future ones sent to you. Thanks for your time.